Welcome to Pitch in the Zone, our weekly gathering of coaches that meet once a week for 30 minutes to give one presenter an opportunity to practice a 3-minute pitch and then provide immediate feedback to this presenter. Our coaches are Nathan Gold, demo coach hailing from San Francisco. We have Scotty Spurson, also a pitch coach specializing in language. We have Michael Marchak from Chicago, who has a very, very keen eye and always a great perspective for founders, entrepreneurs that are looking to raise funding. And then we have Marco Vetzale joining us from Thailand, a serial entrepreneur and also doubling in the role of our timer. He will display the time that the pitch is running. And then, of course, we have our main attraction. Oh, Scotty, and our main attraction, of course, Jamie Becker from the Civil Arts. Jamie has been in the pitch zone already once, has received a lot of feedback, and is showing us today her new and improved pitch. Jamie, welcome again.
Thank you. I'm excited to be back.
All right. And please start your screen share if you do show slides. And Marco is getting ready with the time, and we'll immediately dive in.
All right. Can everybody see my screen and hear me?
Can see perfectly, hear you perfectly as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you again.
The floor is yours. Get into the zone, take a deep breath, and delight us.
Okay, so I'm Jamie Becker, and I'm the founder of the Civil Arts, Graphic Unrest, and we are a space for artists and creators that are into supporting social action causes. So we're building out a web-based and mobile platform where users can purchase social action artwork. Now, it's much bigger, deeper, and more interesting than that, in that we're actually creating not only an online shop, but kind of virtual gallery experiential space where users can create 3D environments that represent the social action causes that they care about. So we've started first with our entry gallery space, which is presently under construction. So you're kind of seeing a construction site here on the screen right now, in that through these different artworks, users can go explore specific galleries around all the issues that we care about today in 2020. Things like LGBTQ rights, gun control, women empowerment, the environment, anything that users care about are things that we'll explore through the site and create experiences around those. So 3D models that represent the causes, so kind of architecture that represents that cause will be shown here, and the artwork can be displayed in it. But we're also going to explore things like replacing the monument. So a lot of monuments have come down this year and have opportunities for people to create 3D artistic expressions of what could be there instead of what once was there, right? So that's one way that we're going to do this. We're also going to have experiential boxes where people can tell their stories through experiential environments. So if you think a little bit about, I don't know if you've all heard about Burning Man that went into a VR experience this year, but it will kind of be a space like that. So we're going to have all kinds of creators contribute their artwork to the space to make this happen. So that will be both visual artists, spoken word poets, musicians, etc. And that users can choose from these different artistic creations to create their experiential boxes or make them all on their own, right? And then people can explore the boxes that are most interesting to them. So you want to have a place for people to tell their story, express themselves, and other people to learn about what it's like to experience the things they have in our world. Because so many of us experience things that map and are similar to each other, but all of our stories are unique too. And I think people are very curious. What is it in a safe place to get into somebody else's head and see what it is to walk in their shoes a little bit? So we want to create this environment online for them. And obviously all of this would be fueled by people purchasing these experiences in some form, right? And so the consumers will buy things like digital prints of the artwork, actual prints of the artwork, like they can license the artwork, the music, the prints, all of it, right? So there's a big opportunity to sell these things, and then a portion of the profits go back to the organizations of the user's choosing. So we've lined up already about 15 plus organizations. These are just a tiny bit of them because I couldn't fit them all on a board right now. But we've had, I've never worked on anything where everybody I talk to says yes, right? Every artist says yes, I want to be a part of it. Every organization says yes, I want to be a part of it. So we have at least one organization from the 15 different hashtags that I've talked about, right? So it's, I think it's a perfect time for something like this, and people are super excited about it. And obviously, we need patrons too, people that support making this happen. Just like a real museum, we're looking for patrons that want to get in on the ground floor of building this dream out. So rather than a traditional investment opportunity, we're looking for patrons to get involved. We're obviously also looking for, artists and organizations, et cetera, right? But so I have experience doing this. You may look at me and say, who is this woman? But I've been a woman in technology for a long time. I'm presently VP of product development at an ag startup that sells into some of the biggest seed producers in the world, like Limogrant, Syngenta, and Bayer. So I've built products for a long time. And one of the things I've actually built before was a VR museum for the Carlos Museum at Emory. So I know how to do this technology. I have the technology in hand. I have people that I've worked with on it before working with me on this as well, behind the scenes. So I have a great team. I have one of my advisors is also from the company I'm at now, was a founder at T-Mobile. And then another one was VP of branding at Martha Stewart, so licensing and branding. So I have a great team with me making this happen. So we're going to build this reality out, and that's where we're going. We really want people to tell their story because their story matters. That's what makes it most important. And we want everyone to get on the Civil Arts bus with us and make our dream come true. We are looking for patrons and sponsors and artists and organizations right now to get involved with our plan. So thank you so much for listening to my pitch, and I'd love your feedback.
All right, Jamie, great job. Can you please stop sharing the screen? And yes, big round of applause. Really well done. Okay. I forgot to ask you who your target audience is, but it was pretty clear at the end of your pitch, of course. And just the obvious thing, you went quite over time. What was the final time, Marco?
Yeah, like 2:30 overtime, so almost double the time.
Overtime, so almost double the time. And I felt, yes, Jamie, a lot of info. Actually, Michael and his dinner party pitch came to my mind, the bucket of water versus the glasses. And with that, I just want to immediately hand it over to Michael. Please take it from here.
So Jamie, I think this time I liked seeing the art. I think that was a great addition, and I appreciate hearing more from you. You felt more relaxed when you were pitching this time. I think because you were so relaxed, you just let it go. And so I felt that perhaps maybe sticking to that, being on point with, I know I have to provide all of this information. I know I want to get to this end point here, maybe work through the pitch a few more times where you're actually looking at a clock or understanding where you are, because you were almost at time and you weren't even at your fifth slide or something. So really kind of get a better gauge for timing. But I do like the art, and perhaps, I don't know if from a technical perspective, you could have the artwork slide showing through as you're talking and have 3 slides, your intro slide, this slideshow slide, which just kind of runs through a bunch of art as you're talking, because you said a bunch of things and you stayed on one slide. And as you're talking, you were mentioning things here, there, and everywhere, which would have been fine if I was going through a slideshow. You wouldn't necessarily have to stay on a script per se. You could kind of arrange your thoughts as you need to, and then get to that third slide, which is, and we're really looking for patrons to really to take an investment in this and really to move forward. And that's what we're doing here to really invest in the art and this opportunity. So that's how my thoughts were on it. I like hearing from you. I thought you were genuine. I thought you came across in a very genuine way, and I really appreciated that. But again, you need to be able to focus on the objective for what you're trying to do, and stay on point, stay on target, stay on time, and you'll have a much better experience, because then people will ask you more questions about things. And then, but again, the art was great though, so thank you for making that change.
Thank you for your input initially.
Wonderful, great input as always. Let me move on to Marco. Marco, what have you noticed? What kind of feedback do you have for Jamie?
Yes, thank you. Well, first of all, congratulations for my main critique last time was about your voice. It was almost like robotic, just reading. But this time really we felt it was you talking. So it was great. But as Michael said, probably you felt yourself very good. So you just let it go and you talk too much. Talking about what you said in particular, I counted at least 7 times you said right, and at least 3 times So those are signs that you are either not confident in yourself, or you're just waiting for feedback, which it doesn't project a kind of confidence in the audience. And again, talking about your usage, usage of the words, to me it sounded very weird at the, let's say, last quarter of the speech. You started using I, and my team, I, so many times, at least 8 times. It was weird, because we were talking about your team before, or your art, your things, and then you switch it. It was just about you, and you. So it sounded, to me, what's going on? And last thing, if the pitch was for investors and everything, I mean, those numbers at the end, 1 million, 100,000, 10,000, it was just random to me. No real meaning behind them. So, of course, if you ask for 1 million, then you have to provide the reason why you need 1 million and why you can be able to give it back or give back an equity or something. So, But I've seen a lot of improvement, especially in the voice, and that's totally better than before. Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Couldn't agree more. It was natural. It was some energy in the voice there. Really good and well done today. Scotty, what comments do you have for Jamie?
Hi. I thought your slides were much easier to look at. There wasn't as much wording on them in general, so they were well done. And to add to other comments, you spoke a bit too long, and it became a bit too fast. You certainly sounded like you. There was much more authenticity, I thought, this time. But you really started to speed up, maybe in the extra 2 minutes and something, as you were going over, and maybe because you were aware of the time. So you've got to remember or figure out a way to say less with more. And to that end, with the donor levels, I feel like you missed an opportunity to talk about corporate sponsorship versus individual sponsorship. And so this is who we are. This is my team. This is why me, and in any order. I mean, the order was fine. It just has to be shortened up, I think. And then also just getting to the small donor, because there may be people who want to give a little bit, and you want to open it all. So
but do I need to be a nonprofit to take sponsorship? I mean, maybe that's not a question for you guys, but that's one thing that occurred to me, right? Someone had asked me, I actually changed this right after you guys talked to me last time. So you impacted me greatly. I had another presentation that afternoon, and I changed this that day for the afternoon presentation. And so, but I do wonder, do I need to, if I'm asking for sponsorship, be a nonprofit so people can use it as tax write-off, right? I mean,
it may make more sense. I'm not sure. I mean, you'd have to look at your business model and see what's coming in, or how you're able to attract people. But it kind of reminds me a little bit of a capital campaign in a sense that you're trying to get this built up right now.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
you can
That's
look
how
at
I'm
those
looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to flip it a little bit, right? Not make it VC based, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Those are my comments. But no, I thought in general is much better, and great to see all the artwork as Michael said too. So
thank you so much, Scotty.
Great,
I listened to you guys last time.
Thank you, Scotty. As always, valuable feedback. Now, usually we always go through all of the core coaches here, but unfortunately today we lost Nathan at the very critical point. I think he did not get anything off the pitch. He had a couple of technical issues. Is that correct, Nathan? Or did you actually see some part?
Yeah. No, I got the beginning and the end. Unfortunately, the sound on my computer completely went away, but I will say that I did see, everything that I heard people saying was great to hear. The two things I did notice is one, try to look more into the camera if that hadn't been mentioned. And the other is to what Marco said about the I, me, my, our. In this sort of a presentation, you need to flip that around, especially at the end there when you said, help us make our dream come true.
Oh, yeah.
That is a nice thing to say to your audience, but that's nothing for them to get a benefit from. That's your benefit. So make it more inclusive with everybody that you're talking with. Make it a better world, make art more available, blah, 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 for the world. Make it about your audience, not you.
Thank you.
Great, thank you, Nathan, and super valuable feedback, even though you only got about 30 seconds of the pitch at the start and at the end. Thank you very much. And now I would like to open the floor to all of the other participants here today. Dave, you also just put a comment into the chat box about the discussion about the nonprofit and sponsorship, things like that. Maybe you can elaborate and also share any other observations that you have made during the pitch.
Well, I didn't see her previous pitch, but it was clear to me. It was to the point. I got the drift. I think at the very end with the sponsorship, just the numbers look so big when you put the .00 on them. Maybe if you like to mirror the other comment about are small donations okay? Maybe at the end, 1 million, whatever, 1, 5K, 1K, or anything is great. I don't know, just however you want to say it.
Make it more accessible. Yeah.
Sure, because especially, and then from the profit or not for profit, I'm not a lawyer, so don't take my advice as legal. I just I'm familiar with for-profit organizations that do take donations, and that's fine. They just need to make sure that that's disclosed. Or there are even hybrids where they are partly for profit, partly not for profit, and so like you can have a not-for-profit event. I'm not sure exactly how you do those kinds of things, but you could probably talk to somebody who knows. And so maybe it could be some kind of a hybrid even. I just don't know. Sounds like all the options are open for you right now. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm just beginning, definitely.
Excellent. Okay, thank you.
But to Dave's point, Dave's point, I think you need to be upfront with your audience and whether you are a non-for-profit or for-profit. Non-for-profits have a different kind of implication. If you are a for-profit organization, you want to let them know that you're a for-profit because you're selling things or whatnot. Be upfront with whomever you're dealing with to make sure that as they know that they're donating, how you're going to be using the money and to whom it's going to be going.
So an event might be a fundraiser for your for-profit efforts that are for this great cause. It's just, I think you need to work it all out. And like Michael says, it's really all about communication and being clear and honest and upfront, all that good stuff. But I think there are probably legal ways to do all the kinds of things you're thinking about doing.
Excellent. Okay, wonderful. Great feedback. Liederman, let's get back to the pitch in itself. What have you noticed? Anything in the delivery, in the content? Please take it from here.
Yes, Jamie, much better than the first one. And I love that picture that you had of the woman and the shadow. I think it connects me exactly to what you're trying to do, got my attention. So much better. I love the pictures of art as well. I think that's great. I think a way to reduce the pitch could be, just to nail it quick on the technological advances that allow you to do what you do. And by the way, at that point, you talk about the humble brag, which puts you in a perfect position because you have that knowledge. That technical knowledge is something that you have done. And very early in the pitch, you can get the social and the technical pieces, out of the way, exactly to paint that picture, the aha moment. Now, wow, I see what she's doing. And then you move on to your ask. And I think that could be a good way to reduce the time. So, but very good. I liked it.
Good, thank you.
Thank you, Liederman. And moving right along, Rick, this is your first time here at Pitch in the Zone. You definitely haven't seen the first presentation. No, and that's very often a great advantage, because you are picking up some things that perhaps people that saw it before didn't even notice today. Can you provide any feedback for Jamie?
Yes, thank you, Claudia. And Jamie, I like the pitch, and I'm a presentation coach in Boston, and my specialty is helping people reduce the content, declutter their presentations so they can get 6 minutes into 3 minutes and have the most relevant slides. And I think my suggestions at the end, and this is going back to what Nathan had said, you said this get on the civil arts bus to help us meet our goal. And I think if you make it more to the investor, you should become a patron because, and have that call to action being more of a repeatable. So if Nathan hears that and he has to bring that and say to someone else, I want you to invest $100,000 because really has to be strong and repeatable. So I think.
So what do you think would incentivize someone? They want to be part of this big change. They see themselves as, bleeding edge.
Partly appealing to altruistic of, you can help the arts, you can help these artists with a display space, having their areas. So I think part of it is being a patron of the arts, reaching out to that part for people. I don't think there's something that's coming back that they're going to get a huge return on their investment by doing it. I think it's more of helping out the arts. But I think this is helping the independent artists with making that clear of doing that. One thing you mentioned that I thought was a powerful statement that you kind of passed over, and I think you can enhance on. You said, we have 15 plus organizations lined up. This is the first time in my experience that everyone has said yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that jumped out to me, because that to me is like, well, okay, this is something special. You've got to make sure that that civil arts is something that is different, that differentiates you from another artist space or another area. So I think that's something from your experience that you said, everyone said yes to this. This must be a great idea.
Yeah, and it's true. It's true.
And therefore, because of that, you should invest. Everyone's in on this, and I think getting on the bus is good, because all your patrons jumped on the bus already. Everyone thought it was a good idea. So I think you can kind of enhance on that, and probably to get it down to 3 minutes, maybe take a few of the graphics out, but just focus more on what the space is, what the value is, and make sure you have at the end the appeal to become a patron, and here's why you should become a patron, not because it's good for civil arts, but it's good for the people in the audience. They should invest to do this, and they would go to their financial people and say, we are investing in civil arts because, and make sure that because is very clear and repeatable.
Okay, thank you.
Great, wonderful observation, deep insight. Thank you very much, Rick. And again, it's a real pleasure to have you at Pitch in the Zone here today, and hopefully many, many more times in the future as well.
Thank you.
Moving on, Chris. Chris, what have you noticed? What kind of feedback do you have for Jamie?
Well, I definitely like this pitch. I think it is a big improvement over the last time I think I saw Jamie's pitch. I'm probably going to come back to some of what I said last time, which is we were discussing patrons. and what they get out of an artistic organization, I kind of look at it like the folks that open restaurants. Most of these folks are very successful, folks that kind of bankroll restaurants. And restaurants, they don't really make a lot of money. So what are these folks doing in the restaurant business?
Yeah.
Well, if it's a good restaurant, and assume that it is, they get a good table every time they show up at that restaurant with their guests. And the staff falls all over them and they look like some kind of superstar. So this is why people open restaurants from a financial perspective, at least from my understanding. And, you know, obviously they bring in a good chef, they do all these good things, but at the end of the day, somebody's going to give you $1 million. I don't really think it's because they love art $1 million worth. I think it's because they want to show up at events and they want to be treated like royalty, and you have to make that possible for them, and the money will just arrive.
Yeah.
Now, that's one piece of the equation. The other piece of the equation is, you know, obviously they have to believe that you're going to make it arrive.
Right.
And I think you can. And you mentioned that you work as a product manager for an agricultural startup. And that part of your message, while it was effective, I thought it could be more crisp. I thought it really could deliver a lot more punch, because I'm sure you've got some work that you can reference or something that will really make me stand up and say, yeah, that sounds really like something cool.
I do. Yeah, I was like a lead mobile architect at Cintas. You know, everyone's CINTAS. People get it. Yeah. Huge $1 billion company.
Yeah. So that's all I have.
Okay. Thank
you.
you.
So, yeah, thank you. I was thinking about your comments actually just before they called on you from last time. So, yeah. So I kind of appreciated you adding more nuance to that. I remember you talking about joining art museums, you know, partially to like meet people, and from last time, right?
That is correct. I have spent a fair bit of money on museums, mostly because I wanted to meet new people.
Yes, yes.
All right, very good. Thank you, Chris. And finally, Debbie. Debbie, you've been in that seat now twice as well. Have you noticed anything that could help Jamie to improve her pitch? You are muted.
Visuals were spectacular. And just thinking about, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, sure.
They were spectacular. And then just thinking that it's all done with technology, which is what your expertise is, that was really interesting. So, you know, the concept and all was wonderful. I do think, like, you know, you talked about your consumer, and then you talked about the artist, and it wasn't till the end when you put that, you know, that slide out, and then I saw the numbers and I was like, oh, way past my means or so. So it was kind of like, you know, so going good, and then you see that and you go, oh, so it felt like it's great, but, you know, just not something that, so I think that was kind of the disconnect. The consumer and the art part was really powerful, but at the end, not being an investor or not knowing what you were looking for. So I think the comments about having, you know, 5,000 or any amount really means a lot, because that was the last slide where I just it kind of took away the excitement, to be honest. But I mean, it's just really wonderful, and it's great. So thank you.
We would accept any contribution, just to be clear. So if you want to send $5 to the Civil Arts, I could send you my Venmo right now. But thank you so much, Debbie. And I really appreciate that.
Great, great. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Jamie, for coming back a second time. And this actually gets us to the end of our season finale of Pitch in the Zone. I am so delighted how this all worked out. A little bit more than 6 months ago, Nathan and I were sitting together and we said, look, we're all locked into our homes right now. What can we do to help others and create some kind of a community that consists of like-minded people that want to help each other, and also give others an opportunity to learned simply by observing and listening into these coaching sessions. And I am therefore tremendously grateful to all of the coaches who attend these meetings week out and week in, week out. And I wish you all the best for a wonderful holiday. We are going to take a break of 2 weeks. We will see each other again on January the 7th. In the meantime, stay safe and have a really, really great start into the new year. Once again, thanks to everybody and see you again in the new year. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.